What's going on YouTube? This is Daybreak748 coming back at you guys with yet again another awesome figure review. Today we are taking a look at the newest addition to the Variable Action Heroes One Piece lineup, and it is none other than Zoro, the Past Blue version. Now, this is one of those figures that I have been looking forward to ever since they announced it, and now to finally have it in my hands, it just feels so good. So with that out of the way, let's take a look at this particular figure and see what this guy has to offer. Now with that said, let's take a look at the box. When it comes to the box for these variable action hero figures, it's your standard display window right here with a picture of the actual character. You have the sticker of authenticity and the variable action hero sticker right here. On the three other sides of the box, it just showcases all the different I guess poses you could get him in and some of the interchangeable parts. So yeah, pretty good for a nice little showpiece. Now give me a sec guys, I'm gonna get this guy out of the box and we're gonna see if he lives up to the hype. Be back in a bit, stay tuned. And we are back with all the contents of the box here fully displayed for you nicely. Now, as you guys can clearly see, Zoro here comes with a crazy amount of accessories. You get the iconic bandana headpiece right here. Looks absolutely beautiful. I mean, this is Zoro right here for you, and I probably will be displaying my Zoro with this thing on him. You also get two sets of interchangeable hands. You get one set which is the relaxed posed hands, and then the other set which is the sword wielding hands. You also get 5 freaking face plates. That's insane. And all of them have their own unique expressions, so let me showcase them to you. You get this laughing face. You get this face which is just looking off, grinning to the side. You have this I am pissed face. This one right here is the scariest one of them all. This is I'm going to rip out your heart face. And then lastly, this face right here, it's just him screaming, or it looks like he's just screaming, but if you take a close look, there's actually a peg right there. Now that's obviously for Zoro's iconic stance where he has the sword in his mouth, so keep that in mind. So putting these down for just a second, now let's take a look at the one random accessory that I don't really care for. I mean, I'm happy that they included it, but it's not necessary. It's this thing right here. You guys know with my reviews, I don't even take this thing out of the package because I don't use it. But anyways, you get that thing. And now let's take a look at the main event with his beautiful, beautiful weapons. So, as you guys can clearly see, you have 4 swords here, but you might be thinking, Daybreak, why is there 2 of the same right here? Well, it's because this one in particular has a peg hole. It's really small, but it's actually right there. Now, this is the sword that you're going to want to use with this faceplate right here, if you want to have Zoro in his iconic stance. So keep that in mind. The other one does not have the peg hole, so that's that. But honestly, guys, this is freaking amazing. I am so blown away when it comes to figure companies and just the amount of just attention to little details. It just blows me away because this sword, starting from the blade, working all the way down to the hilt of the sword, it just looks beautiful. The stitching, it looks like literal like yarn or whatever that they use here for the hilt of the sword. It really looks like that, and it just looks amazing. Now, something to keep in mind, guys, if you are purchasing this for like a younger brother or whoever, this is very, very sharp right here, so you can definitely poke out an eye, and it's very, very brittle. Very thin plastic, so you need to be careful with this. Moving on to this sword right here. Looks absolutely beautiful once again. And lastly, my favorite. Bam! Look at that. Now I know these swords have names, but I don't know them offhand. But this looks freaking beautiful. I mean, look at the blade. Damn, that's a lot of detailing right there. Alright, moving on to the sheath and the swords in the sheath. You guys can clearly see, once again, the Variable Action Heroes team really did this figure some justice. Oh, just looking at the accessories alone, my goodness, this thing is a masterpiece. Looks great. They're all connected by this one plastic brown piece right here. It's the strap that holds it together. Now, if you want to obviously have the sword in his hand and then just the sheath by itself, you can pull this hilt part off, and there you go. So pretty cool. Now keep this in mind, you cannot put the sword in the sheath. It's just not gonna work. So there it is, guys. That's all of the accessories that you get with this guy. So give me a sec, I'm gonna move all this away, and let's now take a look at the main course, Zoro himself. Alright, so when it comes to the sculpt of this figure, it gets a 10 out of 10, hands down. This is the Zoro that captured my heart while I was watching One Piece. This figure literally looks like it came straight out of the anime. It looks that freaking good. Perfectly detailed with all the right accents. And you can tell that they really went all out making sure that this figure looked solid. The spikes on his hair right here look on point, no pun intended, while the face instills that uneasy feeling when you look at Zoro when he's pissed, and his whole attire just looks awesome. Even his bandana right here that's wrapped around his arm, it looks spot on. Now, something to keep in mind, guys. If you do want to display your Zoro with the bandana on him, obviously it wouldn't make any sense if you had this on his forearm here. What you can do, and it showcases it on the box here, you're going to see that you can literally pull this part of the arm off and then pull just this bandana off his arm, which is nice and simple. Now, I tried doing this with mine. I just got this guy out of the package, so I don't want to push it too much because, yeah, it can break. And one flaw that the Variable Action Heroes lineup has is their QC issue. I'm going to put this thing under some hot water and I'll try it later, but just keep that in mind. You can take this thing off. Now, like I was mentioning, the wrinkles and folds and even this little piece where it's a little unbuttoned, it looks like it's coming forward, and that just makes this figure look even more realistic. I mean, look at that. All the wrinkles, folds, everything is there. So sculpt wise, this guy looks fantastic. Muscle definition, it's perfect, and he just looks absolutely beautiful. For the paint, this figure will get a 9 out of 10. Now guys, I'm going to tell you right now, I am being very, very nitpicky. I mean, honestly, this should get a 10 out of 10, but once again, it's just me being nitpicky. So if you take a look at all his face sculpts, where the ear meets the earring, you're going to see that there's like a little bit of smudging going on, but it's because, yeah, it's that tiny. When it comes to his lips right here, or his mouth, that's where it kinda, this one kinda annoys me. Why? Because it looks like when they were actually going in and putting the highlight for the black right there for the mouth, yeah, I think they put too much paint and it maybe ran over it twice, and you can kind of see where it stops. It stops right there. Maybe not, but yeah, that's the one minor gripe I have with this. Other than that, this figure is solid. Like I said, the shading all throughout the white shirt looks great. This green, whatever doohickey thing this thing is, it looks good. When it comes to the pants, it's this nice dark navy blue, and then you have the glossy black boots. So very, very nice. For articulation, this figure gets a 10 out of 10. The head can look very nicely. It looks up pretty decent amount. It can look all the way down. It has this beautiful neck motion right here, so it makes it, you could get him in some more fluid-like poses. When it comes to the arms, can go out that far, obviously full 360. When it comes to the elbows, double jointed, so you get the nice 45-degree angle here. You get the full rotation in the wrist and the pivot. When it comes to the actual body part, you clearly see that there is a butterfly joint, so you can maneuver this out, so you can have him crunched forward, which is really nice. The upper diaphragm joint is nice and solid, so it's not too wobbly. It will hold its position. You see, it's not going to move. So there you go. When it comes to the waist, it's hidden underneath this green piece right here, and yeah, you will have no problems maneuvering this figure. Now, just letting you guys know, this crotch piece right here is a rubbery material, so that's not going to hinder the articulation too much. The legs can go out pretty far. It could probably go out further, but I'm not forcing it. Can go out this far out. When it comes to the knees, double jointed, and it looks really good. When it comes to the boots, can rotate right here. Has a toe joint, but it's kind of limited, so I don't know if this is gonna work too well. Yeah, even on this side it's a little limited, so that's kind of interesting. But when it comes to the rotation right here, the pivot, you have everything at your disposal. So articulation, like I said, this is gonna get a 10 out of 10. I love it. I love how this thing looks. It feels, it's just awesome. If you missed out on the first Zoro figure, then this is definitely a must get for you. Now, real quickly, how do you put on all of these pieces, all that stuff, because people want to know. There's a peg hole right here that will allow you to take this sheath piece. There's the peg hole. You literally line it up and put it in. I'm not going to do it right now. I will showcase it at the end when I have this guy fully posed, but that's how you do it. When it comes to the hands, I'll do one because I'm going to do it anyways. This is the nerve-wracking part. You pull off the existing hand and revealing this little peg right here, and you put on whatever hand you like. So I'm going to, obviously, because he is Zoro, I'm going to have him wielding his awesome swords. So, oh, I just dropped his hand, but it's okay. Alright, so let's try that. Now, this is the scary part, guys. When it comes to Variable Action Heroes line, they do a fantastic job, as you guys can clearly see, with the sculpt, the paint job, etc. But when it comes to their joints, sometimes, not mostly, the guy figures are okay, but when it comes to the female figures, these tend to break. And so you really want to be careful here. So I'm going to take my sweet ass time. So if you want to skip forward just a little bit, be my guest. Yeah, that feels like it's a little tight. Alright, guys, give me a minute. I'm going to put this hand, but that's how it's supposed to work. You're supposed to take the peg, line it up with the peg hole, push it in. Now, this might be a little small right now because it just came out of the factory, so I'm going to try putting a little bit of hot water and see if that goes in a little nicely, because you definitely don't want to break this. Now, when it comes to the face, you just literally pull off the existing face, just like that, and then put on a face that you want. So you see the peg holes right here, there are the pegs right here, and you just line it up, boom, and there it is. Now, if you want to use this right here, you will literally pull off the whole hair piece right here, only leaving this peg right here, and then you will put the bandana on that top piece, and then obviously the face goes into the peg holes here. So guys, give me a sec. Poor Zoro right here doesn't have a face or a hand. I'll be right back with him fully assembled, and we will call it a day. Alright guys, and we are done with this review. There you guys have it. Like I said, guys, when you get this guy out of the box and you are having a hard time with the hands or the putting on the swords, just don't force it. That's all you have to do. Just be careful and you should be okay. Now, what did I do? I literally took these hands and I put it under some hot water, and I let it just sit there for a little bit. That will loosen up the grip so you can put the swords in, and it will allow you to put the peg into the peg hole for the actual hands. And boom, there you guys have it. There is Zoro ready for battle, and he looks freaking bomb. He looks amazing. This is a definite must get if you guys are a Zoro or a One Piece fan. Definitely get it, especially if you missed out on the original Zoro figure. This is definitely a good alternative. Now, just because I know people are going to ask, Daybreak, how does he look next to the original Zoro? Well, you guys can be the judge of that. They look freaking epic. Now, I personally like this version of Zoro more than this one, but they're both pretty freaking epic figures. Now, you can clearly see that the hairs are very similar. The bandana piece is very similar, but just keep in mind this one is not removable. Or at least I don't think it is. It's been a while, but yeah, I don't think it's removable. But the reason why I chose to have this Zoro in this pose is because, do you guys get it? It looks very similar. So there you guys have it. That was my review on the Zoro Past Blue version that just was released, what, a day ago, 2 days ago. So super stoked about this. If you guys like this video, please leave a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, welcome. And yeah, if you guys have any questions or concerns about this particular figure, leave it in the comment section down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. With that said, thank you so much, and until next time guys, this is Daybreak 748 and I'm signing out. Peace out guys.